So we're just doing a trilogy narrative today.
Yeah.
This is the third of the trilogy, and it's for March 4th. We started out in Hanmer Springs, and from there we drove to Christchurch. The drive was uneventful. We stopped for gas and filled up our vehicle because we were turning it in right by the Christchurch airport.
I think it was still part of the Lewis Pass.
What was?
The road that we were on.
Could be, yeah. So
The part coming down, yeah.
okay. Anyways, so we left Hanmer Springs and ended up at Christchurch, and we turned in our vehicle. That went okay. We had enough time, so we were able to catch the shuttle and go to the airport. At the airport, we checked our bags. Everything went well, except we were trying to get frequent flyer miles for United.
Because Air New Zealand is a partner airline.
Right. And they couldn't figure out how to give us United frequent flyer miles, because every time they tried to do that, it said that there wasn't an affiliate, or that our United flyer miles number wasn't valid. So we're going to have to sort that out yet in the future. Anyways, we had a good flight from Christchurch up here to Nelson. We picked up our car. It's a small automatic SUV made by Mitsubishi. It drives well. And yeah, it's really easy after the things that we've been driving. And we went to our AirBNB. The AirBNB is it's like a mother-in-law apartment in the downstairs
kind of
of a house on the beach road here in Nelson, looking out. And it's lovely. Do you want to describe it?
Well, it's got a terrazzo floor, which is like the cement with stones in it that's been ground down and polished, and so it's just really a beautiful floor. The whole apartment is like white, painted white, so it's really bright inside, and it's got huge patio doors in the living room. Almost one whole wall is patio doors, and in the bedroom one wall is almost all patio doors. So that lets the light in, and it's bright, and we can see down onto the beach from these patio doors. And it's just lovely. Just one bedroom, one bathroom, lovely. Anything you want to add about the apartment, too?
A lot of art.
A lot of art in the apartment.
So after we unpacked and got in here, we went down to the beach and went for a walk on the beach. It was cloudy and cool and windy, so the beach felt a little wild in a way.
It did, and the waves during the day had not been that high, but in the evening they just were high, and it was kind of wild, as you were saying.
There were a couple guys on the beach with their metal detectors trying to find treasure.
Can I add something about, shortly after we arrived, the owner's son came by because they were out of town and would be out of town the whole weekend. And he went over with us some things that we could do. And they have this huge map on the wall. It's like wallpaper of Abel Tasman Park and this whole area. So he just went over to that and pointed out things we could do or we could see. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was great.
Very nice, well-spoken fella. It was great. It was great. And one of the things that he recommended, which we'll do day after tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
is Peter Jackson, the guy that was the director for Lord of the Rings, has got his own Warbirds museum, and I want to go see some of these aircraft.
Mm-hmm. World War I and World War II aircraft.
Right.
Vintage aircraft.
Anyways, we after our walk on the beach, we were going to go out to dinner, and the restaurants that were recommended were already booked, so
Yeah.
we couldn't get in. So we walked to a place down the road that TripAdvisor liked quite a bit. It was called Smuggler's Inn, and it was a pub. There was Smuggler's Pub, that was it. It was a pub, and they had a rugby game on, and they had drunks that were pretty loud and rowdy about the game.
Didn't we talk about that from yesterday's Smuggler's Pub?
No, no. This is today. These are notes for.
Okay, all right.
I think it's because you were confused about what we were doing before we turned the camera on.
I was?
Yes, you thought we were recording.
I did think we were recording. Oh, so this is what we're re-recording. So we have already talked about this.
We talked about it, but only because we were talking about our notes.
Right. And I thought we were recording. Okay.
Right.
Right. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I, yeah. So I had this pork fillet with grilled peaches. It was really pretty tasty. And Terry, you had fish.
I had fish again, orange roughy, pan-fried orange roughy, over rice that had like a tomato-based sauce that it was in, and it had some tiny mussels, and I think that was all the seafood that was in it. So, and chorizo, bits of chorizo.
Right. And then we had cheesecake for dessert, and it looked beautiful, but the taste was not special.
Right.
And we walked back, and for a change, we weren't sleeping in a vehicle. We were sleeping in a real bed, and we had a great night's sleep.
Yeah, it's lovely.
That was March 4th, our first day in Nelson.
Love. Bye.
Love.